Hello and welcome to my channel, Crochet and Copy. My name is Judy. In my previous tutorial, I showed you how to make Sky the butterfly. And I told you to look out for my next tutorial because I'm going to show you how to make a backpack and how to attach Sky the butterfly to the backpack. So this is our backpack when it's finished, how it looks. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the backpack and how to attach Sky the butterfly to our backpack. I also want to show you that and let you know that in this tutorial, I'm not going to show you how to add a zipper and add a lining to our backpack. That will be in the next tutorial that I have. Look out for that one, and I put that information in the description, so check out the description and then you could find how to make Sky the butterfly and how to make the backpack and how to add the zipper and how to add the lining. Before we get started, I wanted to show you the measurement of our little backpack. So across, it's almost 9 inches. And from the top to the bottom, it's like 9.5 inches. These are supplies we're going to be needing to make our backpack. I'll go over them with you. The yarn we're using is Red Heart Super Saver. This one is 364 yards. It's a medium 4 worst weight, 100% acrylic, and this color is Turqua. So that's our yarn. We're going to use the embroidery floss, and I got the embroidery floss to match the color of our yarn. The number for this one is 3846. And the hook we have is the USG 6. It's the 4.00 millimeter, and we're going to use a sewing needle. And with the sewing needle, I got the eye big enough that you could actually put the embroidery floss in. Okay, and yarn needle. I'm going to be using a few stitch markers. We're going to use 2 of the D-rings. All right, we need 2 of them. And lastly, our scissors. So these are supplies, so let's get started. Now to get started, to get our yarn attached to our hook, we're going to do what's called a slip knot stitch. I'll show you how I do my slip knot stitch. If you have another method of doing it, go ahead, I'll show you how I do it. Take my yarn, drape it over my 2 fingers, and I let it fall to the back. Take my hook, put it between my 2 fingers, and I pull up a loop of yarn, and I have a little knot, and I tighten that knot against my hook. And that's how simple it is to do a slip knot stitch. Now that we have a slip knot stitch, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 25, and I'll show you how to do the chain. The chain is yarn over your hook, pull through, yarn over your hook, pull through, yarn over your hook, pull through, yarn over your hook, pull through. And that's how simple it is to do a chain. And keep your chain loose, don't crochet tight, okay? So now go ahead and do 25, and then when you finish that, I'll meet you there. So now this is how we look when we did 25 chain. So that's the start row 1. So now to continue with row 1, what we're going to do is we're going to put a single crochet in the second chain from our hook. So the first chain is this chain right here, and the next chain right here. That would be our second chain. We're going to put 1 single crochet there. What we're going to do though, we're not going to do it in the front. If you want to, you can do that, but I like to do is to turn it to the back, and we're going to put it our single crochet in the back. You see it has like those little bumps or bars in the back. That's what we're going to use, right? So now a single crochet is you go into your chain. So I say keep your chain loose. This makes a difference. And then you're going to pull up a loop of yarn. There you go. You have 2 loops of yarn on your hook. Yarn over, and then you're going to pull across 2 of them at the same time. That's it, and that's how easy it is to do a single crochet. So now all we're going to do is put one single crochet in each of our stitch to the end of our row. I'll show you again how to do the single crochet. Is go into that chain, pull up a loop of yarn, 2 loops of yarn on your hook, yarn over, pull straight across. One more time, go into that chain, pull up a loop of yarn, 2 loops of yarn on your hook, yarn over, pull straight across, and that's it. So go ahead and do that till you get to the end. And when you get to the end, I'll show you what to do next. So now that's how we look when we got to the end of row 1, and you should have 24 stitches now. All right, make sure you have your 24. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stitch marker and I'm going to put it in the middle, and I'm going to pull up the post of our stitch, just one of the strand of our yarn, and put it right there. All right, so this will help us to remind us where the front of our work is, because we're going to refer to it later on. So that's all I'm going to do there. So this is the starting of the back of our backpack, because we make 2 pieces to form our backpack, the front piece and the back piece. I went ahead and I did the front piece already, because it's exactly the same thing we do for the back. The only difference is, why I'm showing you the back is we're going to have to add the D-rings eventually. So I wanted to show you that. But when you do the front piece, you just admit, obviously, putting the D-rings, because we only need the D-rings for the back of our backpack. As we move on, you see, as we go on. So I just want to let you know, I'm not going to show you how to do the front, because we're doing the exact same thing we're doing for the back. So now moving on to row 2, you're going to turn your work, and you're going to chain 1. You know how to do the chain. And for that first stitch right there, all we're going to do is put 1 single crochet. And you know how to do the single crochet, so go ahead and do that. Now for the next stitch, this stitch right there, we're going to put 2 single crochet in that same stitch. So now we're going to start increasing. So that's 1 and that's 2. Now for the next 20 stitches, you're going to do is just put 1 single crochet. So for 20 stitches, I'm not going to show you how to do it, but you go ahead and you put 1 single crochet in there, and then I meet you there. So that's how we look when we did 1 single crochet in 20 of our stitches. So now we have 2 stitches remaining. So the next stitch, what we're going to do, we're going to increase in there, and by increasing, you put 2 single crochet in that same stitch. So go ahead and put 2 single crochet in that same stitch. And the last stitch is right here. We're going to put 1 single crochet. And that's with the completion of row 2. Make sure you have your 26 stitches at the completion of row 2. So now we're going to start row 3. You turn your work, and you're going to chain your 1. It's basically what we did for row 2. We're going to increase, but I'm also going to show you, we're going to put stitch markers in this row, because this was what we're going to start doing for our strap. All right, as you move on, you see it. So for that first stitch right there, just go ahead and put 1 single crochet right there. And the next stitch over, you're going to put 2 single crochet, because we're increasing for this row 2. All right. Now for this stitch, the third stitch we have, I'm just going to pull up so I don't lose my spot. When we put the first stitch marker here, I told you went like front of the post, just the front of our stitch. What we're going to do here, I'm going to put a stitch marker here, because we're going to refer to it back later again. But I'm not going to put it up to here where we go into when we do the single crochet. I'm going to put it around the post of our stitch. And the post of the stitch, this, because the stitch are divided with up part, there's the like the V shape of the single crochet, and then you have the connecting, we call that the post. Okay, so what you're going to do, I'm going to put right there around it my first stitch marker, and we're going to refer to it back again later on. So now what we're going to do is just do one single crochet across till we get to the 20th stitch, and then I'll show you what to do next. So just one single crochet and we'll meet up again. So now we put in one single crochet in 20 of our stitches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our next stitch marker around the post of that 20th stitch right there. Okay, and so now you have, to work with it better, you could hold it so you could continue. You have 1, 2 stitches. All you're going to do is put one single crochet, and the next one over the third stitch you're going to put 2 single crochet, and the last stitch 1 single crochet, and that will complete row 3. So now we complete doing that. So make sure you have 28 stitches at the end of row 3. To start row 4, turn our work, chain your 1, and the first stitch we're going to put 1 single crochet, and for this row we're also going to increase, so the next stitch you're going to put 2 single crochet. So now for the next 24 stitches all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet. So we did that for 24 times, so now we have 2 stitches remaining, so we're going to increase. You're going to put 2 single crochet in this stitch, and the last stitch you're just going to put 1 single crochet. With that you completed row 4, and with the completion of row 4 make sure you have your 30 stitches. So row 5, turn our work, chain our 1, and that first stitch right here we're going to put 1 single crochet. So for row 5 we're going to do the same thing that we've been doing. We're going to increase. I'm not going to show you, I'm just going to tell you. So the next stitch over you're going to put 2 single crochet, and the next 26 stitches that will bring you to, you have your 2 last stitches to do. All you're going to do is put 1 single crochet, so 26 stitches, 1 single crochet, and the last 2 you will put, you have 2 stitches remaining before you complete that row. So the second to last stitch you put 2 single crochet because you're increasing, and the last stitch 1 single crochet. So go ahead and do that for that. That would be row 5. So that's how it looks when we did that pattern for row 5. And row 5 make sure you have your 32 stitches. Now to start row 6 you're going to turn your work, you're going to chain your 1. So now for row 6 all the way up to row 34 all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet in each of our stitches. So keep a track of what row you're at, and we're not increasing, so make sure you still have your 32 stitches. And when you're going to start row 35 I'll meet you there and I'll show you what to do next. So we made it up to row 34, finish up row 34, and that's how we look. So now we're going to start row 35. We're going to turn our work as we've been doing, and we're going to chain our 1. So now for row 35 we're going to start decreasing. I'm going to show you how to do that. So for the first stitch right there we're just going to put 1 single crochet, and now for the next 2 stitch we're going to use what's called the single crochet 2 together, and that's when we decrease. I'll show you how to do that. You go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and go to the next stitch over, and you also pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops of yarn on our hook. What we're going to do is yarn over, and we're going to pull that loop across all those 3 loops we have on our hook, and that's it for the single crochet 2 together, and that's our decrease method. Now for the next 26 stitches all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then when you get there tell you what to do next. Okay, did that for 26 times by putting 1 single crochet. So now we have 3 stitches remaining. So on this side we're also going to decrease. So by decreasing we're going to use again the single crochet 2 together. So I'll show you again how to do it. Go into that stitch, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops of yarn on your hook, yarn over and pull straight across. And that's your single crochet, 2 together, decrease method. And the last stitch we have right there is our last stitch. We're going to put 1 single crochet, and that's it. And by doing that, we completed row 35, and you should have 30 stitches. Now to start row 36, we turn our work and we chain our 1. And same thing again, we're going to be decreasing. So for that first stitch, we're going to put 1 single crochet, and the following 2 we're going to decrease them. So you know how to do the decrease because I showed you how to do it. And now you're going to put 1 single crochet, and when you get to the last 3 stitches, you're going to decrease the second to last 2 stitch, and then the last stitch you're going to put 1 single crochet. So I won't show you how to do it because you get what we're doing. We're decreasing now. So go ahead and do that, and I meet you at the end of this row. So we did that for row 36, and by doing that, the completion of row 36, you have your 28 stitches. Now for row 37, all you're going to do is you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. So we're not increasing, decreasing, so you should have your 28 stitches. And when you finish that, I'll meet you there. So we did that for row 37, so we have our 28 stitches. So now row 38, we're also going to be decreasing in this row. So I won't show you how to do it, but again, remember it's the first stitch, 1 single crochet, and the following 2 you decrease, and you work your way across with 1 single crochet. And when you get to the last 3, you decrease the 2 before the last stitch, and then the last stitch you just put 1 single crochet. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you there. So we worked that pattern across, and with the completion of row 38, make sure you have your 26 stitches. Now for row 39, we're also going to be decreasing. So I'm not going to show you that because you get the point what we're doing when we decrease. So, and which 2 stitches we're decreasing, which one we're using. So go ahead and do the decrease method. So we complete that for row 39, and we should have 24 stitches at the completion of row 39. Now for row 40, what we're going to do is put 1 single crochet in each stitch across. So I'll meet you there, and remember we're not increasing or decreasing, so just 1 single crochet across. We completed row 40 with our 24 stitches. Now for row 41, I already turned my work, I already chained my 1, because here we're going to add the D-rings. Show you how we do it. So for that first, and we're also going to be decreasing. So that first stitch, you just put 1 single crochet. The following 2, you're going to decrease. And the next 3 stitches, all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet. Now we're going to place our D-ring. Put it, and we're going to put 5 single crochet around our D-ring. So what you're going to do is line up the stitches that we're going to use, because we're going to use 5 of them to put the D-ring on. So put your hook through the D-ring and now through the stitch, and do a regular single crochet. That's it. Now find the next stitch. So 5 times we're going to do this. It's just a regular single crochet, and we're just adding on the D-ring. And to get the last one in, I just like to slide it over, and then use that last, because that will be our 5th stitch now. There you go. So we have added our D-ring. The next 2 stitch, all you're going to do is do 1 single crochet, and now you're going to add the other D-ring. All right, just put it there, and you're going to put 5 single crochet around like we just did for the other one. All right, so go ahead and do that. Do it for 5 times, 5 single crochet around the D-ring. And the following 3 stitches, all we're going to do is put 1 single crochet. And the next 2, we're going to decrease. You know how to do the decrease. And the last stitch, 1 single crochet. And that's it. That's how we added our D-rings. For the completion of row 41, make sure you have your 22 stitches. So now for row 42, we're also going to be decreasing. So go ahead and follow the pattern we've been using for decreasing. So by following that pattern to the end of row 42, we have 20 stitches. So make sure you have your 20 stitches. Now this is our last row because I went ahead and already turned my work. I'm going to chain my one now. So all you're going to do is just put one single crochet in each stitch. And that's for our final row, row 43. So we complete that for row 43 with one single crochet across, and we didn't increase or decrease, so we should have our 20 stitches. Just want to remind you again, this is the front of our backpack and this is the back of our backpack. And remember I said I'm not going to show you how to do the front because it's the exact same thing that we did for the back. It's the back, we just added on our D-ring and we put the stitch marker to help us remember where we're going to add the straps. Right, so that's it, but do the same thing, the pattern, just omit putting, of course, the D-ring on and the little stitch marker. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do the edging for our little piece that we just crochet. So show you how we do that. So that last stitch right there that we had, we place our last stitch, we're going to put 2 more right there on the edge, single crochet. So that's 1 and that's 2, and I'm going to refer to it later on. So for that first stitch we just made, put a stitch marker there, so we know that's our first stitch because we put 2 additional single crochet in that last stitch. So I'm going to get you started to show you how we're going to do it. So now the next stitch will be here, put 1 single crochet, the next stitch, so it's right at the edge of our work that we're putting the single crochet. Next stitch right here. And what I try to do, I try to match it up as the same as I did with the front. Okay, so when you do the front, just keep a track of how many you got and how much you're working around. Okay, so I have a bunch here, so I'm going to go through that because I want to do some of them. I do that and some I go through the whole, because it has 2 strands of yarn right there, so I could use that, pick that up, and then here I just go into it. That's all we're going to do, just put a single crochet. Now what you're going to do is you're going to work the edge up of our little piece, and then when you get to the edge for here and here, you're going to put 3 single crochet at each end, so 3 here, 3 here, and then go up the sides again, just 1 single crochet, and you're going to finish off to that top of that first single crochet we started for row 43. You're going to slip stitch there, and I'll show you how to do the slip stitch because I didn't show you how to do a slip stitch there, but just continue working along. As you see, I put 3 here and here at the end of our little crochet piece, and then just 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet. All right, so when you finish doing that, I'll meet you there. So now we finished, we made it around. So now all we have to do is we're going to slip stitch to our first stitch for that last row, row 43 that we did. So how you do a slip stitch is go into that stitch, pull up a loop, and then you have that loop on your hook, you pull it straight across, and that's it. That's how you do a slip stitch. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull up a little tail, and I'm going to grab my scissors and cut it off because we're going to weave it in and tuck it in later on, but that's it. That's how we look when we finish doing it. So I cut off my yarn, and that's it. So what I'm going to do now to help us remember later on, put a stitch marker right where we slip stitch to. That's the first stitch for row 43 when we started it. Now I'm going to show you how to tuck in our ends before we move on. So I attach my yarn needle. So I'm going to show you how to tuck in one, and you go ahead and tuck in all the other tails that we have. All right, I'm going to take out the stitch marker for a minute, but I just wanted to show you where to put it. In that same stitch, I'm just going to go to the back part of that stitch, because we have the front, we consider this the front loop, and then we consider this the back loop. So I'm just going to go through that back loop, have a little tail, and I'm going to turn it to the back, and then I'm going to start weave it in the back here. And that's all I'm going to do with it. I'll put in the stitch marker a little later. Just continue showing you. And find the stitch to the back, because this will be inside of our backpack. You feel it when you do it too. How it looks. Okay. That's it. And then I'm just going to weave it here some more. I'm just going to go one time back up, because it's a little small tail. And I skip that loop of yarn that I'm under and go up to the next one, so I don't. Because if you do that, it's going to come right back out again. Try hold on to my little tail. And that's it. That's all we're going to do to tuck it in. So when you tuck it in, make sure you do it on the wrong side of our work. And you go ahead and you tuck in the others, and then I'll show you what to do next. And then don't forget to put the stitch marker back in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start working on the straps of our backpack. And we're going to start on the right side of the bottom of our strap first. And what I did a slip knot stitch already to join my yarn to my hook. So go ahead and do that. So now what we're going to do, we have to join our yarn to where our stitch marker is at. So just go into that. See, there's my hook in the back, front. I'm using like the post of the stitch. We're going to join. And I'm going to use the slip stitch to do it. So a slip stitch, I showed you earlier how to do it. I'll show you again. You just pull up that loop and pull straight across. And that's it. And that's how we join our yarn to our backpack. So now what we could do is we could take out our stitch marker, because around that same post we just join our yarn. By putting that slip stitch, we're going to put a single crochet right there too. All right, and you know how to do this single crochet. And that's it. And remember the post. Show you again what the post is, because we have the stitch when we did it was around here, but the post is this part of our stitch, so you want to go around there. Hopefully you can see, and hopefully I'm explaining it that you can understand. So that part is what we're going to do. That's our consider a post of our stitch. So what we need to do is we're going to put 3 single crochet around the next 3 posts of our stitch. So now by doing that, you have, that will be row 1, and with row 1 you have 4 stitches. So now to start row 2, turn our work. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a single crochet in each of our stitch that we have. So we turn our work, so you're going to do a chain 1. And the first stitch is right here, so you're going to put 1 single crochet and the following 3. So we're not going to increase or decrease, so you're always going to have your 4 stitches, because that's what we're going to start with the strap. So this would be right here. You have to open it up because we put that There you go. All right, so that's for the completion of row 2, and you have your 4 stitches. Now to start row 3, you're going to turn your work, you're going to chain your 1, and all you're going to do is we're going to repeat this row that we just did, row 2, and just put 1 single crochet. Now I'm not going to show you how to do the rest of the rows. Keep a track of where you're going and just keep this pattern going of putting 1 single crochet, and you're going to turn your work and you chain your 1, and I'll meet you till we get to all the way up to row 76. Now we made it up to row 76. So what we're going to do is, because we're like this, so we're going to make sure we turn it so our work is on the right side. We start and make sure that it's straight. Okay, don't, because when we're doing it, it turns and it turns and turns when we make our turn. So make sure it's straight. Turn it, and you're going to chain 1. Now we have to attach it to our D-ring. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the last row we just completed to attach it. So all you're going to do is go into your first stitch, go into the D-ring, and then pull up a loop of yarn and do the regular single crochet and just complete it. So we're going to do that for 4 times because that's how many stitch we have for our strap. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's it. And that's how we attach our strap to our D-ring. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull up a tail, a nice size tail, and I'll show you how I weave it in, because now we're going to fasten off and we're just going to tuck that tail in. I went ahead and cut off my yarn and I attached my yarn needle. So now I'll show you how I tuck this one in. I'm not going to show you how to do the other side, so this will be the side I'm going to show you. So just come like we're going back to do another set of row of stitches, single crochet, just go under there. So now I'm going to feed it to the back. All we're trying to do is trying to make it look nice. So now I'm in on the wrong side. I want to pick up stitches, so I try not to come out to the front, just hide it in the back. See, we're just trying to make it look nice and neat as we go along. Tuck it in. And that's it. And then I'm going to grab my scissors and cut that off, and then I'll show you what to do next. Before we move on to the next step, I just wanted to show you how it looks. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. And of course you could do it as much time as you feel comfortable and you think it feels nice and secure. So now I'm going to get you started for the left strap of the backpack. Of course we're still on the back, and this is where a stitch marker is, where it's going to help us. And of course I did my slip knot stitch in order to connect it to my hook. Now using the stitch marker as our guide, that's where we're going to start. So do as we did the other side, the right side. We're just going to join our yarn with a slip stitch. There you go. And take out your stitch marker. As we did the other side, we go around the post and we're going to do 1 single crochet. First one always gives a little trouble. Okay, and now remember the next post over, 1, 2, 3. Just go ahead and put 1 single crochet around those posts. So we did that, and that's how we look. So like I said, I just wanted to get you started because you did the other side and you know how we did it, and you did all that work already. So go ahead and do what we did for the other side, and when you get up to row 76. Just join it as we did with this other side, the right side. All right, so this is how it looks when I finish doing the straps. And go ahead and tuck in all your ends that you have. I went ahead and did that already. So our next step we're going to do is we're going to do what's called the gusset, and that's the side of our backpack. You see as we move on. So to start it, I already attached my yarn to my hook in a slip knot stitch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 5, and you know how to do chain, so go ahead and do 5. Okay, so we did our 5 chain. So now, as we've been doing, just turn it to the back, and the second chain from the hook, you're going to put 1 single crochet, and the remaining 3, just go ahead and put 1 single crochet, and that's for row 1. So now we did that for row 1, and make sure you have your 4 stitches across. Now for row 2, all you're going to do is turn your work like we've been doing and chain your 1, and then for each of those stitch, all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet. So now we did that, and for completion of row 2, you have your 4 stitches. So now to start row 3, you're going to chain your 1. Of course, you turn your work, and we're going to do the same thing. So for the following rows, but if you want to, so you know this is the front of your work, you could put the stitch marker in, because this is row 1 right here. Let's start off. If you want to, you don't have to do that. Okay, I won't show you how to do the rest because this is what we've been doing. You know how to do it. So keep on working with those rows, and I'll meet you till we get all the way up to row 113. And when you get there, I'll show you what to do next. Don't fasten off. So to join the gusset to our backpack, the back of our backpack, we need it to be to the side of it, because if you do it to the other side where we have our next stitch marker, when you try to join it, you would join it here, the other side of the front side of the backpack, it won't match up. Then the back of the backpack will be open, so you put it here on this side, and then we're gonna slip stitch together, and then we could add on the front of our backpack. So to start off, we're going to leave the stitch marker there, and we're going to go to the stitch next to the stitch marker, because when you look at it and you hold it, you see it gets a better, the edge. So we leave it with that to match up with this edge. Comes around here on the side. So I showed you how to slip stitch already, but I'll show you again because that's what we're going to use now to attach the gusset to the back of our backpack. So you just go into that stitch, pull up a loop, and the other loop that you have on your hook, pull straight across with the loop we pulled up. There you go, that's a slip stitch. So now we're going to use when we did the edging of the backpack, those single crochet we put there, we're going to use that as our guide to attach it. So you go through the gusset, the edge will be completed that row, go to find the edge of it, and then we're trying to make it nice and even as we go, and that's all we're going to do. Find the end, go into the next single crochet, and that's all we're going to do to attach it. Wanted to show you the last step that we do, because I have my last stitch to do right here to connect the gusset to the backpack right here. So I'm stopping before the stitch marker, and then do that, complete that, and that's it. Just want to let you know, if you find that when you complete your row it doesn't match up with the right up to the opening of our backpack, the gusset, when you finish attaching it, you could either decrease or increase the row. So you could at this point just take it off, because it's not, we didn't secure it in the sense that you can't take it off. So it's either how much, like when I told you when we first started, keep a track of how many single crochet we did around the edge, because this is the front of our backpack, and how many stitches we put around and around. So when you do it, the rows should match up to, for when we actually do the gazette, it should match up to how many of the single crochet we put around. All right, so hopefully that helps out. Now we're going to move on to attaching the front now to the gazette. So that's how it's going to be, because we did the back. That's our back. And our stitch marker that we have here, we could take him out. And our little tail, I'm just going to hold it down for right now, because what I want to do is I'm going to put a single crochet right across the top. So now we're going to use that stitch up here. Will be our first, because we did 4 chain across. So I'm going to use that one to do a slip stitch, and the following 3 I'm just going to put 1 single crochet. Now we could start attaching the front of our backpack to the gazette. So we're going to use the same method of just slip stitching around to attach it. And where our stitch marker is, I'm going to go into that stitch next to it, and that stitch next to it was the when we slip stitch. So you have to open it up a little bit, and that's where we're going to start. And we're going to just use that as our first stitch and slip stitch it. There you go. So that's get us started. And then since you did the back, you know how to do the front. Okay. So before we move on, because we're attached already, what we need to do is we need to put quite a few of our stitch markers around, because to put on this part, the second part, the front of our bag, could be a little tricky. I know, right? You say the bottom was even trickier, right? But anyway, so to line it up, you could use this stitch marker that's here and just connect it here, because that's where we want to stop and make sure it's even. So you could use this one, and this will help us keep it together. And now take the rest of the stitch marker as you go along and just put them in, and this will help us keep us straight as we go along when we're joining it, because we want it to look nice and even. So go ahead and do that, and then continue, of course, slip stitching it. And when you get to the stitch marker, just take them out as you go along. Okay, so I made it to where I have that last stitch to do right here. So I'm going to take out my stitch marker, go up top of that single crochet and go on the top of that single crochet, and that's it. What we're going to do is pull up a loop, and we're going to give it a nice little tail so we could tuck it in later. So I'm going to grab my scissors and cut this off, and that's it. Want to let you know too, if when you did it and it didn't match up, or crunchy, or it doesn't look nice and neat when you add it on the front piece, go ahead and just take it out and redo it again. All right, so it looks nice and neat, because at this point we could take it off still, and then we could start back up from where we started when we started up here. So you could go ahead and make sure the front looks nice as the back does before you continue moving on. So what I'm going to do now is just weave this tail inside, and that's it. So go ahead and do that, because I showed you how to do it already, how to weave and how to tuck in our tail. So now we're going to start to attach Sky the butterfly to our backpack. And basically I just center it to the front of our backpack. So I went ahead and cut off a piece of embroidery floss I did 60 inches and I put 2 knots at the end, and this is my sewing needle. So that's what we're going to use to attach Sky to our backpack. So you could center it, find out and how you like it. If you want it lower down with his antenna down, or if you want it a little higher up, his antenna a little higher up. It's up to you at this point. You could decide how you want it. But what we're going to do is we're going to start when it's facing us this way. This will be the right side of the upper butterfly wing. So we're going to go through the bag to start off with, so that we can get the embroidery floss tail not showing from outside. So far what I did, I went inside the bag with the sewing needle. It came out, and I came out on the upper wing, and I'm gonna try to hide my color of my embroidery floss. I go back through, and I'm going back through the bag, so I'm going very close to where it came out from in the wing, the upper wing. And as you go along, make sure you keep it straight so it looks nice, all right, as you go along. So that's all we're going to do to sew it on, go in and out of the bag. And you could check yourself to see how far the distance you are in the bag come out. I know it's a little hard to see from the tutorial direction, but so we're going to start off attaching with the upper wing first. Go back down into the bag itself, and that's all we're going to do. Now that we made it to, we did the upper wing, lower wing, and we made it to the body, I'm just coming to the side of the body, pick up a strand of the body right there. And then I'm going to take that and weave my sewing needle back down, and at this point I'm going to bring it, and because I don't want to mess up the shape of her little body, so at this time I'm just going to pick up a few of the stitches from just the outside. I'm not going through the bag again. All we're trying to do is trying to make it look nice as we go along. Go up to the body, pull up some more of the bottom part of the butterfly. Be careful though, you don't want to hurt yourself. Like go back over under some stitches. All right, see, and that doesn't mess up the shape of the little body of the butterfly. And now you continue again, and you just go through. So from now we could go up into this part of the lower butterfly wing, and then go back into the bag and continue as we've been doing. we made it to the point of where made it around, everything looked nice. If you're not comfortable and see how they match up or look to you at this point, you could still take it off because we're not going to fasten off yet, because we want to tack down his little head a little bit, right? We don't want to change up his head style too much. I'm going to go through a couple of the outer, hopefully you can see good, stitch, and then go back down to the back. Now that I'm inside, what I'm going to do similar to when we did the body portion. I'm just going to come up, weave it up to the top, and I'm going to try to grab some of the stitches from the back when I come up. I don't want any of my embroidery floss to be showing, so I'm going to go back through it, pick up some more of the head. I'm like doubling back over it. Go back inside the bag. I think that looks nice. I think I hit my embroidery floss enough. That looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew a couple of the loops here, make a knot there, and now give it a couple knots and cut that off. So this is how we look inside when we sew on our butterfly to the front of our backpack. It's the front of our backpack, and this is the back of our backpack. So that's it. We are finished with this tutorial. But remember, we have to do the zipper and we have to do the lining for the backpack. So look out for that tutorial. But I had fun showing you how to make it. The little Sky butterfly had his little backpack. And that's what this tutorial is called, Sky's backpack, because he has a backpack. Yeah. So till next time, bye-bye.